I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness wishes it was this movie. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, released in 2022 and is directed by Daniels, standing for Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, who are also behind one of the controversial and one of the best films that I reviewed last year, Swiss Army Man. And this film is starring Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie Hsu, Ki Huy Kwan, Jenny Slate, Harry Shum Jr., James Hong, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And the reason why I'm talking about Everything, Everywhere, All at Once today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my subscribers and contributors, and actually a co-worker of mine, Alan Squires. Thank you very, very much for the recommendation. Recommending this film. I've been meaning to watch this movie all year. It came out in March of 2022, and for my end of the year ranking video, if I'm going to rank all of the movies that were released in 2022, I knew eventually, some point this year, I was going to have to watch this. So thank you very much for recommending it and forcing me to get it watched and get this thing done, because this is one of the best movies of the year. And it's one of the best movies that A24 have produced. And usually they're known for like these smaller budget type horror films, psychological thrillers, really films that feel very independent and very artistically driven. This one, a little bit more schnazzier stuff in it than usual for A24, but yeah, this is definitely one of the best of the year and one of the best that A24 has produced. Evelyn Wang is a Chinese American who runs a struggling laundromat with her husband Wayman, and on top of that, she is struggling and balancing a whole bunch of different hobbies that she's just not that great at, and also trying to keep her family together. And one day, while being audited by the IRS, her husband tells her that she is in great danger and there's an evil force coming that is trying to murder her. And a couple of action scenes later, her husband reveals that the consciousness inside his body right now is actually her husband from another universe. And he explains the multiverse to Evelyn and tells her that she is the multiverse's only hope at stopping this evil force. So she goes through a lot of quick mental training to take in all of these different skills from all of her other different personalities, all of her variants, I guess, if we were going by like Loki terminology, the different variants of her all throughout the multiverse. And the multiverse is a really fascinating concept. Every single decision that you make can branch off into its own different universe. Now, when it comes to time, I don't know how, like in my timeline, that's the choice that's happened. So how can you go back in time to see, yourself make a different choice, and then to have that universe go out? Like, how does the universe create? And I'm hurting my brain, and I'm confusing myself, and I don't mean to confuse all of you out there. Which, right off the bat, is the biggest kudos I have to give this movie, because it takes its time while kind of rushing telling it, but also explaining it very well, the whole concept of the multiverse and how it works in this universe, this film universe that this movie is taking place in. Because time travel, multiverses can get very confusing, and if you don't lay it out properly, if you don't explain it enough for the audience watching the movie, the audience could get very, very lost. And the movie just doesn't vomit a whole bunch of time-traveling multiverse terminology all over you as an audience member. It teaches you about the multiverse and how it works and how you can harness other people's skills and abilities and powers, while also going through some really fun and cool action scenes. I wouldn't say it's innovative, but it's well done. I love how they're telling the story and establishing the rules in this universe. When Wayman is taken over by the Alpha Wayman, his consciousness inside of that body, he takes out all these security guards with a fanny pack. And I was like, yeah, that's fantastic. That's 80s and 90s coming back to kick 2022's ass right there. There you go. Because that's when the fanny pack was popular, and we should never see it again. Now, looking at promotion, watching all these other people review it on YouTube and all over social media, everyone basically giving this 2 thumbs way up and loving this movie, I thought this was going to be more of an action film for A24. And while it is more of an action film than the type of movies that A24 produces, this is a movie really about mental health, and it is a self-reflective movie, and it's a very personalized movie, just with a sprinkling of nice action scenes and CGI. One would say that this movie is kind of an everything bagel of film genres. It is about someone trying to find their place in this world, and that's what makes the character of Evelyn so relatable, because I feel that everyone, at least the majority of us all, are trying to figure that out, or are constantly asking ourselves, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I destined to do? Am I destined for greatness? Or am I destined to just kind of sit on the couch and live out the rest of my days? For Evelyn, the reason why she is chosen in here is because she has so many hobbies that she does that she is terrible at, and because she's terrible, all of these other different variants of herself, she can take all of the skills from them because she is so terrible at everything. And on paper, that sounds kind of sad, but it's also very beautiful seeing it act out in this movie of, yeah, I really have no fantastical skills or nothing that I'm tremendously great at, but that kind of makes me an okay person, and it's okay to be me. And that's the big underlying message of this entire movie. It's watching this character Evelyn realize that it's okay to be who she is. Constantly thinking and going back to decisions that you have made in your past that could have led you down a different path to maybe stardom, or led you down a different path to where you didn't have kids, or maybe you had different kids, or maybe you had a different husband, maybe you had a different partner altogether. It's realizing that every choice that you have made, you shouldn't have regret about, because every single thing that you have done in your life up until now has made you the person that you are now. And that's just, it's a very beautiful thing for me to hear. And when we get to that climax and when she realizes that, I could have done anything else. I could have gone down this path, or gone down that path, or gone down this path. But I didn't. I chose to be here with you. I chose to be with you, with my daughter, with my husband, with my father. And that's okay, and I am happy that I've done that. This is what I was saying when I thought that this movie was just about, taking all these multiverses, kind of capitalizing on the Marvel Cinematic Universe and trying to do all the multiverse things. Like, that's the thing now. Everyone's doing a multiverse movie. It's nothing to do with that. This movie is about mental health and watching a character realize that because they exist, they are special, and that's all that should make you happy. Because you exist out of the billions, trillions of possibilities of you not existing. You are here, and that is enough, and that should be enough. And you shouldn't have to bend yourself to anyone else's will or to make other people happy. You need to focus on your own happiness. If you like something that other people don't, fine, love it. If you hate something that other people love, whatever, that's totally fine. That's your decision. This movie made me think a lot about myself, and I feel like it has done that with a lot of people. That's what makes this film so freaking great. It does get very weird at times, though. Very, very hot dog fingerish weird. Yes, if you didn't know, there is a universe where humankind was killed off by people with, like, normal hands like this, and they're replaced with hot dog hands that splooge out mustard and ketchup when you're aroused. So there's that. There's also a universe where the film Ratatouille exists, but instead of Ratatouille, it is Raccoon-natouille, I think is what she called it, and it's a raccoon. But because this story is so grounded in a personal aspect that touches really everyone who watches this movie, a question that all of us ask ourselves, what is my purpose? Those ridiculous things and those ridiculous universes that we see, you actually go along with it, because it's still involved in this question of why do I exist and trying to find your own self-happiness. So I go along with it 100% and I buy into it. This movie is a ton of fun. It's a self-reflected movie. We have a lot of great action scenes in here. There are points in here where I'm kind of asking what the hell is going on, especially when we get to the everything bagel and the villainous source that I'm not going to spoil who that is. How they're able to be everywhere all at once at the same time, in all the places and all the worlds and all the universes, everywheres all the time. But the movie does such a great job of explaining and showing everything else and all the other rules in this universe that I sit back and I have a great time. Sometimes tears are coming out of my eyes. This is definitely one to watch, and it's one of the best of 2022. I'm going to give Everything, Everywhere, All at Once 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So guys, if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you all the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.